Thank you for coming on today. Well, looking at this matter, I mean, time and again, this happens. We focus on them again. But associations like yours, I haven't heard this. You know, people will always talk about, what have they been doing to see that this doesn't even happen again?
Yeah, thank you very much. Collapse of building is an aberration that has dented the image of construction professionals in Nigeria. We saw this as a great challenge, a phenomenon that we must not allow to exist in the Nigerian space. Having gone through a lot of campaign, conferences, seminars without much result, we decided to take it as a collective responsibility. Rather than each professional body addressing this menace in isolation, we decided to form a coalition under the aegis of Building Collapse Prevention Guild. Now you will see the architects, engineers, builders, town planners, estate surveyor and valuers, quantity surveyors, and surveyors or land surveyors working together in unison. The essence is that if we collaborate, we will use our numerical strength and experience to check building collapse in Nigeria.
When was this guild formed?
About a year, just over a year ago.
Okay.
And we have been doing a lot. Some of us have been studying the causes of building collapse for years. And somebody like me was part of a body set up by the Lagos State government to study this crisis and provide solution towards establishing a building control agency.
What were your findings?
Yes, they were very numerous. For instance, the causes spread all over from lack of comprehensive subsoil investigation, poor workmanship, substandard material
investigation, or what?
Subsoil investigation,
Oh,
soil test.
Okay.
Many people don't do soil test, despite the fact that this is a riparian state or littoral state, which has led to a lot of foundation crisis, foundation structural defects, which is so common in Nigeria. So after we now thought that, we started by bringing all the semi-professional bodies together, the notable advocates against building collapse. So at the end of the day, we thought that we should start the pilot scheme right here in Lagos. What we have done as of today is that we have divided Lagos, or we have divided ourselves along the 57 local government and LCDA in Lagos State. So all the semi-professional bodies who are volunteers in BCPG. Now you can see how this thing works out. The chairman of Nigeria Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers was just passing by Ujodu when that building collapsed. Immediately he called me. I was in Port Harcourt inspecting a religious site where they have started foundation and so on. We are trying to inaugurate River State chapter of Building Collapse Prevention Guild. So we met all the professionals on that side towards successful delivery of the project. When I received that call after that visitation, immediately I called the coordinator and the secretary of Ujodu LCDA of BCPG. So the coordinator happened to be an estate surveyor and valuer, Mr. Emmanuel Oladapo. The secretary happened to be Mrs.
Just tell us what exactly is
so
the cause of all of this. Yes.
Yes. Immediately we gave them the signal. They sent delegates to the site, and the chairman of Lagos State Chapter, Town Planner George, led the team to the site yesterday, there were not less than 20. So to tell you that there is effectiveness in this approach.
So I think let us go straight into this. You talk about causes.
Yes.
Perhaps we can. You just told us just one.
Yeah.
Lack of proper soil testing.
Yes.
What are others?
Yes, others are prevalence of substandard materials in the building market in Nigeria, from steel reinforcement bars to at times when you look at the quality of cement that are being used at times, they are not frequently tested.
How can the builder know some of these? If, for instance, you're a builder, a quantity surveyor, and you get to see that you need some of these iron rods and steel and even cement, how do you know that these are not of a standard?
Yes, it's unfortunate that we spent a lot of time trying to sift through the market, some of these materials. What we normally do is that we take samples of the ions. We cut about 1 meter each and take them to the lab, maybe about 3 samples.
Which lab? Sorry.
Randomly. Material testing lab. Like we have one in Ujudu, we have just a few. Or we go to Unila or Yabate.
Who are they run by? Who runs those labs?
Lagos State, like University of Lagos is in charge of their own lab. Yabatek is also running one. Lagos State Material Testing Lab is being run by the government with private inclusion.
So these labs actually exist?
There are 6.
Okay.
But the point is that...
Do we patronize them? Maybe I want to build. I have already contracted it to a builder like yourself. Do they approach such laboratories?
We approach them. But many sites don't bother to approach them. And because of distance, it is difficult to expect somebody having a site in Badagry and taking samples to Jodo. That was why we advocated vociferously that we needed more laboratories in Lagos and other parts of the country.
What's the standard of the ones that even exist?
Let me tell you, the minimum standard of the strength of the iron bars or steel bars is 420 Newton per square millimeter. But when you get to the market, you get those that are as low as 250, 300 Newton per square millimeter. So those are the problems we are having on site. And at times in the process of making use of them, they snap off.
The way we also build, you know how we build and we leave, sometimes you don't have enough money to continue building, so you stop, you leave the project for a while, then later on you go back to it. Does it also affect the likelihood of a building collapse?
Yes, it's another factor. You see, we have a mentality in this milieu. We don't patronize the quantity surveyors. They are there for a purpose. Most clients are making that mistakes. They're supposed to find out the cost of a project before embarking on it. One usually receive a design from an architect.
Let me pick up on that. I mean, if I start a building, and I buy the 400, the specification you talked about, the international standard, and I build for 2 months, and I stop, and I resume in a year, are you saying that the quality of that 400 will depreciate?
You see, whether we like it or not, weather is a factor. Weather can lead to cracks in buildings, can lead to some defects.
No, even if I have standard materials.
If you have standard,
while I'm building and I stop.
That is understandable. But what we are saying is that some people don't know that this project will cost them double of what they have.
I know the part you're coming to. I'll let you get to it in a moment. But from the question Mark asked, are you saying, is there any findings from your research that people who build and stop and then only continue later, does it affect the quality of the building, even if you have the right standard of materials?
It can affect the quality. For instance, let me mention blocks. When blocks are exposed to weather for too long a time, the strength will reduce.
But
Concrete, for instance, concrete can be exposed to water for long. It gains more strength. That is quite different. And even bricks, by the time you lay bricks and leave it for long, try and provide some cover. That is the essence of having roof. To protect the building against weather effect.
You know, going to some of these sites of these collapsed buildings, what do you find? Have you taken the pains to ask of those in charge? You know, sometimes you see people building and you hear site engineer, builder. Do you care to find out if truly they were professionals?
Yes, we have done that. We discovered that most of the people that call themselves site engineers or builder on site